Hi there, this is my first tutorial. I'm going to make a simple character based on a written tutorial I have on my blog. My blog is ollietyler.blogspot.co.uk. If you scroll down that, you will find a tutorial called 39 Steps to Quickly Build a Simple 3D Character. So here it is. There's this little guy here. He's a simple poly mesh, which can have detail added to it and made into any type of character you like, really. He's a biped with 3 fingers. I did originally make a version with 4 as well, following pretty much the same procedure. So it's possible, and they could be different body shapes and things. Obviously, it's up to you how long you make the limbs and the size of the head, etc. Can all be done with the same process. So I'm going to walk through this process. I'm going to, just to show you can make different characters from this, I'm going to make a slightly different and more detailed character. This guy I sketched up yesterday. He's a cartoon alien. I might add this nose and these bits, but essentially he's the same. Details of the clothing and stuff I put on afterwards, possibly. So I'm gonna crack on with this guy, alien trumpet nose dude. Is a polysphere, an 8-sided polysphere. So that's what we're going to make. You simply go to polygons menu. Make sure you're in that one. And there should be a create where the primitives are. We go to polygon primitive sphere, and we'll click on that window there to make sure we've got a sort of smallish size head, and we need to have 8 divisions. We'll put 8 the other way. Make sure it's on the y-axis, so it's upright. And create that, and it should be similar. Zoom in and press 5, which gives it a basic shaded view. That's exactly the same as our step 1, which is finished. So then the body we'll move that head up. Actually, we're just going to move that head up. So let's hit W, which is the transform shortcut key. You should get familiar with all of those. They're the most useful things. Shove him up there, and maybe forwards a bit, and Z, so he's forwards a bit. So this will be the front of the head, and by duplicating that one and put it down, that's going to be the body. Simple as that. We can go to the channel box editor over here, and we can take it off of the transform that we put on the head. So now that's back on the origin, which is a good place to work from. The middle of the body, put it in the middle of the scene there. So I'm going to make it bigger to a sort of rough body shape, and it's all quite simple. Maybe move that back a bit. Okay, so that's following that. There's our body, there's our head. A little basic at the moment. We're going to maybe stretch that a bit. Just form it up. Here's my scanner. Quick look at my body. Well, he's a sort of. I think that's okay for now. Maybe we'll edit that in a little bit. For now, we're just going to sort of attach the pieces that we need together. Here. So just make a simple arm piece and a simple leg piece next. So these are cylinders. Heads, bodies are spheres. Arms, legs are cylinders. Polycylinder. So we're gonna again make these 8-sided. So it needs to be a bit wider than that last setting that I used. The length could be maybe 5 units and 8 divisions. And we don't want to have caps. Does this allow us to not have caps? No, so we'll have to make it with caps. and we'll take the caps off. So this is the right click on the face, click face, and then we can just hit backspace to remove that. Go around the other side, backspace, remove that. So there we got a basic 8-sided cylinder. It's facing the wrong way, so rather than rotating it with the E key, we'll just go to the channel editor again, and we can rotate it exactly 90 degrees in the right direction, which is always a better idea. So we're just going to move that up to sort of a shoulder level, not too close. Maybe it's a bit thick, so we'll scale it using the R key and stretch it that way a bit. Maybe W, push it in again. Okay, that's not a bad arm. So we'll duplicate this. Sorry, I didn't tell you last time, but it's Control D to duplicate. Control D. That makes an exact copy, which we can then just put down there. For the leg, we want to rotate it 90 degrees the other way. So yeah, that's the Z. Z rotate, and then push it into the body, and then down underneath. Right, so we've got body, head, arm, leg, basic pieces to build from. Nice and simple. So I think we've reached step 4, which is good. Step 4 is selecting edges. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to change the bottom of the body here where the legs attach a little bit, and sort of turn them, these triangular shapes, into quads, which are better for attaching bits and pieces to. I just check that again. It's the diagonal ones that we're going to affect. So we go into see the underside of the body here, and we've got this edge here, this one. If we remove these, we will be left with quad shapes, which are much more useful. So again, right click, go to edges, click on the edge, and holding the shift key, you can multi-select these edges. So holding down the shift key and clicking on the edges, once those 4 are selected, backspace removes them completely. Now we've got nice quads similar to the rest of the geometry here, and that takes care of step 5 there. So we're going to do the same thing again on the underside of the head, so that we make some good geometry up there to attach the head in a while. So step 6 is do the same thing again. Good stuff to do. Edge, hold down shift and click those edges, backspace to remove it. Easy. Stage 6 done. Stage 7, we make another little ring, 8 sides again, so we don't need to make a new one. We can just literally copy our leg, move it up, scale it up, make a small ring to make for his neck. So there's the leg. I've just copied it by hitting Control D, up it goes. F will center it. R will scale, so we'll scale this axis here, and again we'll center it. We'll center it in the middle by taking off the X translation that was on the leg piece. So that should just put it in the middle. Keep the Y translate, because that's where we've just moved it up to the correct neck position, so that's fine. What we'll do is with all of these pieces now, we will freeze them so that all the transforms and scales that have been put on them so far will be zeroed off here. So by selecting them with Shift and then go to modify freeze transformations, that will, if you watch the channel box editor, it freezes these to 0, scale to 1 to 1. So these are default positions now for these pieces. In fact, we could probably do it for everything. So I'm going to choose those again. See, these have transforms on now. If I modify freeze, then all of them are now in a default position that could be changed later and redone if need be. So there's our neck piece. Maybe that's not quite in the right place, so we'll start with that again. Maybe rotate it slightly. Maybe stretch it a little. Okay. So we've made a neck. So that's step 7. So we're going to do a bit of moulding the body piece now. So we're going to. This is a bit of an ugly sort of rugby ball shape, so it's not quite what we're looking for. We just check our artwork again. I sort of did a basic side view, a front view, so we know the shape we're after here. I'm going to shape this now. We have our various views. Maybe I'm going to go to look at the top view here, and we'll make it a little flatter in that dimension. That's a good start. Maybe this is our front view. Zoom in a bit. I want to right click on this and start moving vertices. Now, these vertices can be selected and moved up or down, changing the shape of the whole thing. If you go to the tool settings here on the right side, you can see that there's a thing called soft select. Now when you select that, it sort of it gives a sort of a highlight around the vertices. Now that means that neighbouring vertices will be affected if they're shaded at all by this yellow colour. So and you can increase or decrease that amount of fall off with this slider here. So you can see now. You can see that the orange ones, if you move the yellow one here, this selection, it moves all the neighbouring ones a little bit as well, depending on, and if it goes to black, they're not affected. So that lets us sort of mould the whole overall form a little bit better than just moving them one line at a time or one vertex at a time. So we got this sort of, maybe we should scale that one as well, so we can use the keys again. W, E and R are transform, rotate and scale. We're using mostly transform and scale to model this. So with hitting R, we can scale those vertices that way a little bit. Maybe turn down the fall off of the soft select a little. Maybe shift that down a bit to give him a bit of a belly. Maybe we need sort of straighter across the shoulders up here, or the vest area. We'll maybe get those ones and we'll scale those that way. And then, look at the 3D view again. It's a bit better. I think he's a bit symmetrical from the side. So we'll go to that side view, which is in here. Maybe give him a bit of a tummy coming out, and we'll push the small of his back in so it starts to give them a kind of a bottom, a nice bottom. Not bad. It's still a bit sharp edged. If you hit the number 3, it will give a smooth shaded appearance of that shape, and that gives you a better idea of what it would look like a bit more organically. Yeah, I think maybe he needs a little bit more chest, maybe a bit wider at the shoulders up there. Yeah, that whole thing could go up a tad. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's look for our next instruction then. So this is next part of fox it back. Where's it gone? There it is. Okay, we've shaped the body. That's step 8. So step 9 will be to select 4 facets on the right hip. Now these facets here will be removed, and these will make up the shape which is joined to the leg. So, oops, jump in there again. I think we'll go back out of smooth shaded mode, go back to the basic mode, so we can keep it simple. So that's just pressing number 1, goes back to the unsmoothed mode, and we've got these 4 facets. They're sitting above the leg. They're going to be attached to it sooner or later. So we're going to right click, and then right click, go to faces, so choose face, and then shift, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, backspace to delete them. Is that correct? I didn't take out one I shouldn't have done. No. Okay. And then step 10 is to shape the top of the leg to roughly fit the hole that's just been made. So back to object mode, right click in object mode and click the leg. Now this is sort of facing the way. We could maybe select some of these vertices here. We can take this off now, this soft select. Okay, let's just pull these basic vertices up. So I'm going to pull them up and scale them wider. So we're basically aiming to match vertices here to the corners of these pieces. So these has got vertices. One there, it's going to join to that one there. This one here, this one is going to join to this one to there. It's not got too many, so we'll sort of move them nearer to their corresponding places. That one there, up there, move it across, move there to that corner. It's really obvious where that one's going. They don't have to be really close to them, but just approximately. Across a little bit, doesn't need to do much. This one's a bit more unusual, it goes in. That's not that nice, but I think we'll I think we can fix that now. Actually, we'll go to the body piece. We can just pick those 2 vertices. Oops, why isn't it connecting? One there and one there. You gotta just make sure when you select these things that you don't select a vertice on the other side of the body somewhere. So have a quick look around. Okay, no, they've just got those 2. The transform tool usually gives you an idea. If you picked more than the 2 that you were bargaining for, it might appear out somewhere strange. So you select these 2, it's right between them, so that's the right place for it. I'm gonna hit R to scale them and just pull those towards the middle, which seems a bit more sensible place to have those. so that this leg isn't sort of bending in on itself. There, that's about right. So now we've got a bunch of, oh, I thought we had a bunch of matching. Where's that one? I hit 4 there to go back to wireframe mode. And, oh yeah, so that one's being a bit naughty, so just pull that back and roughly plane it up. Yeah. Alright, so we've got some matching corresponding points. We've made the leg a bit odd, but it will we'll sort that out in a bit. Step 11 is combining the 2 poly meshes using a thing called bridge. So you literally just select the 2. This is meant to be all one mesh before you can do the bridge. So by selecting both parts of the model, mesh and combine, we will get a single mesh made. You can see that it goes green, so now we have a click off and click on. It's all one piece. Then we can select 2 edges of the same model, which will be bridged together. So go back to edit, edge and bridge, and yes, there we go. We've created a sort of a new piece between them, which is the same as in our schematic there. Maybe I put these a little bit too close to each other before, so we could pull them apart again slightly. It gives us an extra bit of geometry between to sort of make the creases between the body and the leg. Again, you just tidy that up a bit. Make something a bit cleaner. Oops, maybe that should go that way. That one should go in a bit. You have to just keep turning around things, making sure that they look smoother. You could maybe smooth it, and then you see you get not a bad join. Go back to that view. I noticed that in my other tutorial, I'd actually divided the cylinders had more sections to them through the length of each one, which we didn't have. So what I'm going to do is put those divisions in now, using the edge loop tool, which is another sort of major poly tool, which you'll use again and again. The edit mesh is insert edge loop tool. Okay, so this will make this makes divisions sort of laterally around meshes. So it's a funny shape, as you can see, but it is a ring around. The funny shape is because it's trying to average between the rather regular round shape at the bottom and this odd shape at the top, and it's because it's closer to this one, it looks more like that one. But what we can do is we can select those vertices, make sure that you only pick those ones, shift again, and we could scale them flat into a ring again. So that's sort of pulling down on the Y scale. You're taking that irregular ring shape and just flattening it back into a more or less rounded shape. Maybe we could round it a bit more by moving some of these points together again, to get back to that octagonal sort of basic ring shape that we had in the leg. That's more or less. Maybe this one comes out a bit. Right. Okay. Right, maybe it's a bit big, so we'll scale the whole thing in a bit. And there. Okay, so this ring now is similar to this one down here. And we should go back to object mode. I think we will continue with the edge loop tool, and now we have two more or less matching ones. They're going to be much more of a normal regular shape, so we put one there, one there, one there, another one there perhaps. There, we got some sort of more geometry, so we can bend that leg around later. And again, we'll do the same thing here. This one will be much simpler because it's the same at both ends, so we literally just need to make some divisions, maybe in half. Two more. Each side of the half. So roughly divisions in that one. Okay, so that's divided up. Maybe join the leg on, and we can have shoulder, a little different to the leg. We need a bit of extra geometry to make a shoulder joint for that arm to attach on. So what we're going to do is extrude two faces and make a slightly different shape coming off of the body. So what we do is we're going to take two facets where the shoulder's going to be. Two's not enough, we were really looking for four, so what we're going to do is we're going to sort of make this into four. So we have 8 vertices to join to the 8 which we have on the arm. Select the two faces, go to edit mesh, go to extrude. Again, this is a major useful tool in poly modeling. We're going to use it lots more if you do many poly models. The extrude lets you select faces and pull them out of the body, making new geometry where the extrusion is happening along here. So you can pull them out, you can scale them different ways, different directions. You can just by the same token, the extrusion could be inwards to make sort of holes and windows and things as well. But for this shoulder, we're going to just pull out those two faces. There they are. Okay, and then we will select those two and the two underneath the armpit sort of area. So we've got now 4 faces, same as at the bottom where the leg was, and we delete those. Now what we have left is should be 8 vertices to join the 8 of the arm. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the one in the middle, 8. Okay. So again, we'll sort of shape them a little bit, ready for the bridging action again, because they're a little odd. With the shoulder, that should really be up a bit. That should be a bit, maybe a bit lower, maybe a bit closer. Would sort of leave a gap, I suppose, where the new piece will be made. But if these points are brought in somewhere roughly between the body shape and the arm shape, then you should get a nice clean bridge added. When we do that, you see that one is much too in, so we bring it closer to the point. It's going to end up joining this one, so get it in a bit closer to that, somewhere in between. this one will join to here, so that could go in. It's making a sort of shoulder blade area here. That one goes there. Is that maybe a bit lower? This is the sort of the armpit joint, which joins the bottom of the arm tube. So again, I won't pull it out too far. This is a sort of collarbone area. Shoulder area. Oops, maybe down a bit, down a bit. Okay, so we've sort of no, this is dodgy geometry. Something's happened here. What have I done exactly? Oh no, it just looks like dodgy geometry. It's okay. Again, you have to sort of keep rotating around things to see if they're all right. Yeah, we've basically got a octagonal hole built in the body. It's vaguely shoulder shaped, so that's good. That's ready to attach to the arm. So again, as I did wrongly last time, I forgot, but we select the two pieces and we join them before we bridge them. So body and arm selected. Mesh, combine. So now they're both green. They're both part of the same thing. Let me zoom into the area. We need to join up and right click, pick the edge, double click on that edge and double click that edge. And we have two edges of the same model as the same mesh selected. They've been lined up, so they should join up correctly. Doesn't always follow that they join the right vertices together, but I'm confident this will. Yes, okay, there it was, the bridge piece, and that just adds another section of another set of eight more facets to join those two edges together, and we have a sort of shoulder and armpit area which we can work with. And I think maybe we'll just select those vertices and slope them in towards the body a little bit. That looks a bit better, and then maybe bring it in closer, and maybe the next one in as well. Alright, well, that's from the top view. This one looks a bit weird, so we'll correct what we can before we go much further. Maybe that should be more rounded. That could come out a bit behind. You notice we're only concentrating on one side of the body. We don't worry if this side of the body ends up being different from this side. We're actually going to delete this soon. So we're really just looking at the shapes where on his left side, and how they relates to the limbs that we're adding, and the shape, the form of it, its own form. Maybe that going close to there. Keep looking at the proportions and anything that might be odd. And so I don't know if that dip there is particularly great, so maybe that should be flatter there. Maybe this come out a bit. You can switch to pressing number 3 to smooth view to get an idea of how your shoulder might look. Yeah, that's not bad. Maybe a bit fat. Should taper in a little bit. Yeah, and then back to 1 to your mesh. Yeah, arm and leg attached to body part. I guess our next bit will be attaching head and neck. Let's see, so that was step 13, 14 and 15, and 16 too, where we reshaped the shoulder area to finish off that arm meets body section. So step 17, yeah, as I thought, is moving on to the head. We prepared that nicely earlier by making another octagonal hole matching an octagonal neck piece. Press F to zoom in on that. And our body, it's hard to see. I might move the whole body down. Now it's all one piece, it'll all go together. Just move it down a bit. Let me see that. So we've got a bunch of pieces here which we can lose. We're going to lose them. Go to that angle, we can select the point of that, and it selects nicely all 8 triangles. We don't like triangles, they're not wanted. Delete them, they're gone. There we go. Another octagonal hole, which is going to meet an octagonal neck piece, which maybe will make it longer. This is an alien. You can have a nice long neck. That'd be good. I'm pretty sure it's the same process again. Combine body and neck. Mesh, combine. Same process again. Pick out the 2 edges nearest each other. We're not going to even change this neck piece to match. It's going to bridge just the way we want it, I'm pretty sure. Edit mesh, bridge. And we have a little bridging section between neck and body. You guessed it, I'm pretty sure. Do we do the same thing again for head and neck? Oh, it's actually slightly different because our head is forward leaning. I think our neck's attaching to the back of the head a little bit more than directly underneath the head. We're not going to take out the octagon off the bottom of the head, but we're going to take out a kind of 4 facets, half of that neck octagon. We're going to take out these 2 and these 2 back ones, and again that will make an 8-pointed shape, which we will have to adjust a little bit. So we're just going to take that, and that. Gone. Leaves us a weird shaped hole, so we'll just open that hole up by just literally these 2 points of what we need to move. We'll scale them, open. That makes again a sort of an octagonal shape, maybe. This is the one under the chin, and these 2 at the back of the head could push the back of the head. Okay, this button here is the isolate, so if you need to look at a single piece without any of the other pieces there, you can say I don't know, you want to look at your body but the head's in the way, you can just select the body, click on this. It's sort of just, you're just looking at the one piece. The head's still there. As soon as you touch that, it comes back again. It's quicker than hiding elements and unhiding them. It does the same thing. So we've got a sort of a head hold and a neck. I think we're just going to bridge them and tidy up the resulting shape. So again, mesh, combine, select the edges of the head, edges of the neck. It could be the other way around, doesn't matter. And bridge, edit mesh, bridge. Yeah, that's given us F. Press F to zoom in on the edges that are still selected. Now, remember, the side that we're interested in is this side. So if we wanted to edit any bits of that, we don't need to do that side. We just really work on this bit. See if it's wants to be adjusted a little bit. We can. Go back to our picture now and just see our alien head shape that we want. It's a sort of I don't know, a big triangular pebble shape balanced on his little neck, rather skinny little neck actually. So we'll just go and maybe tweak this a bit. It's not looking quite like that. Maybe put that soft select back on and tweak it up. We'll scale his head around a bit, make it more of a pinhead, nice daft looking alien head. Maybe push the top of the head back, or maybe rotate it even, so that it faces different directions slightly. Yeah, that's good. Soft select takes sort of neighbouring ones along with it. Maybe these ones, not sure, maybe those ones come down. Yeah. And these ones should sort of go in and maybe pull that even more that way. That's our side view. The front view, no, looks a bit frog-like. I don't know, maybe we should maybe pull those out. Remember, we're not concentrating on this side so much, so although it is easier to sort of visualize when you have. I think that's enough for now. When we finally get the whole mesh made, we can tweak him into the right position. But yeah, that's more or less his head shape, looking good. Okay then, so going back to the blog, we will see what happens next. We've got our full basic body parts made now. I think we're going to cut away the unnecessary half of this model. So if you look here, step 22 from 39, we have to just select, go to object mode, right click, object mode, and click on the object. Go to faces, probably safest to go to the front view and select all the unnecessary faces. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Turn that soft select off, that's distracting. Okay, and the shaded view, we can see, yeah, we've just got the left facets selected there. So just select them all and backspace, and they're gone. During the course of making this, we should never have moved any points from the actual origin line. You see on the head, there's quite a few have actually left the origin there. That's not good. The ones here are all on the line, so we're going to just fix that. We're going to grab all of the points which should be on the line, and I think we can just move them to the line. Is that right? No, doesn't like that. Maybe we have to sort of. We got the grid lock at the top up here, so that will let us lock these to that point, to that edge where they need to be. You just go through and make sure that they're all properly locked to the center, because when we duplicate this to make the full body, we don't want to leave any gaps or overlapping. It causes problems, so all points need to be strictly locked, so you can zoom in if it's difficult to see them. Just get everything in neatly on that center axis line. Oh yeah, we've got stuff all over the place here. It probably was because we used the soft select, and when we were moving things around, scaling points, it pulled things asymmetrically off the center. So we want to get it back there. Yeah, I've checked all those points. It looks like they're all back on that line, so that's great. That's a necessary procedure. So we got half a guy here. Let's get rid of this grid. It's a bit irritating. Yeah, we can see better. That's good. So the next thing to do is to mirror this geometry so that we have a full body, apart from the hands and feet. But that's what we're going to do next. Right, bear with me. I'm going to find mirror geometry. So it's under mesh. The bottom, right at the bottom, there's mirror geometry. We need to make sure it's mirrored in the correct axes. So you can see that we've built our guy with his arms facing down the X. So X is the axis we should be using. Yeah, our model is in plus X, so we need to mirror it in minus X. So hit the tab that says minus X, and I think merge with the original is the right box to tick there. So just zap it there, and there we go. We have our man symmetrically lined up perfectly down the middle. He's just got one vertex there. He's all one piece of geometry. Currently with 4 holes where the hands and feet will go. So we should probably look at that next. Yeah. So the next thing we'll do is build a hand for this guy. So we're going to make a new thing here. Just start building this hand separately, and we'll come back to the body to graft it on afterwards. I don't remember which one it is. It's Control H will just disappear our hide. It's hiding the body for now, and we shall go to build a cube with 9 sections. So we go to create polygon primitives cube, open up the control box, and we'll need it's going to be quite a small relative to the body. We'll scale it again. It probably won't be right. So it's 2 units wide, and we'll need 3 width divisions, 3 height divisions, and no depth divisions necessary. This is building everything on Y, so I think, yes, there we go. This is the basis for our hand. It's a bit deep, so we'll just pull the points in, or pull them in. Yes, that's better. It's a sort of a flat palm. This part, which we're going to grow fingers, digits from. So first thing to do is shape it a little bit. Here we go. So pull that out, pressing R to scale it that way, and this way we'll scale it the other way a little bit. This will be the sort of wrist section. Yeah, that's about that. Oops. So what we do next is we select some different facets here. We'll probably do them one at a time to begin with, or because we don't want to select all 3 and extrude them. It will come out as a single piece, but we want them divided, so we'll do them individually. So we choose, say this will be our index finger. We'll extrude that facet, so edit mesh extrude, and we'll pull it out a bit, up. Oops, I left the grid lock on. That's a classic. Up a bit there, maybe scale it a tiny bit thinner. Okay, that will do for now. We're going to do the same thing with the other 2. Maybe that one just comes straight out a little bit thinner. And again, I think you can hit G, and that repeats the last function. So we hit G. The last thing we did was an extrude. So hitting G just means extrude again, saves us going to the menu every time if we're doing repeat actions, which we often are. Maybe I'll rotate this as well by hitting the E key. Rotate that so sort of each face can be selected and then rotated a bit in opposite directions. Okay, there's the start of our 3 fingers. Our thumb will grow out of this middle section here. But maybe we'll just enlarge that a bit. It seems a bit short. Maybe, yeah, like that. Maybe just that bit, and then leave that there. Alright, thumb come out of there. G again is good enough to repeat the action. With this one we're just going to bring it out a little bit. And this sort of shows how we can just use this rotate, transform and scale functions to sort of mold a shape. I'm gonna keep extruding this one until we get our sort of basic thumb shape. Out again a little bit, scale it a bit, maybe flatten it a bit, in a bit. You keep going around to see how the sort of 3D shape of it all. Looks good. We'll do it again. This time we'll go that way. No, scale it again a little bit smaller. Rotate it a bit more. Pull it that way a bit. We're sort of growing a little thumb, section by section. Maybe we'll just hurry it along and just do it in a few sections, and if we need more we can add them later. G makes another section of this thumb digit. A bit. I don't know, something like that. Looks good. He's a bit different because he's to the blog character, because he's an alien. We're going to have sort of some frog-like hands. So we'll extrude that again. This time, keep it very close and scale it bigger to make a sort of nice big blobby bit. And this is just the beginning of it. G again pulls it out. It looks a bit like a hammer at the moment, but once it's rounded, I can assure you it will make a convincing sort of blobby end to his thumb, so that he can grab things with his sticky fingers. I don't know. Maybe just pull them all out a bit further. Yeah. Okay, it looks pretty odd. We can try smoothing it and you get some idea of, well, it's not quite there, but again, I think we'll just move on to the other fingers, and we can tweak this. It hasn't got too many points yet, so it's easy to edit still. If you make too much detail early on, it's hard to change the basic shape of things, so best to just stick to as few faces as possible. Keep checking with the smoothing mode if things are looking more or less right. Edit a few points rather than lots. You'll be done a lot quicker. So we can press, oh no, can we not press G? I'm going to press extrude, do the finger, extend that finger out a bit. G again, do another one. G again, this one will make a blob on the end. G again, just to finish that off. That. Copy the same thing. It goes, enlarge that, G again, bring it out to a blobby ending. Next, G again, scale it in maybe, and down, maybe bend it that way slightly. G again. Extrude, extrude, extrude. G, extrude once more. One. Okay, so we've quickly put together a kind of hand with some alien fingers. We tweak it a little bit. Hold Shift, hold, and select some vertices. Maybe. Whoops, we missed a few there. Keep your eyes peeled at all times for anything like that happening. Select that section there. Or if we just want to, maybe we could select an edge, and the double clicking on that means we make sure we get all those bits around there. Let's say we want to scale that in like this or something. Double click. Yeah, so this we can select and transform edges or vertices. They're all interrelated. So whichever is the most convenient to use really is best. In this case, selecting edges is going to be easier than trying to pick the 4 vertices that we're after. Yeah, so keep a relation between 1, 2, 3. You know, if they're bending, then they should all bend a little bit. First, separate these a bit. Too close to each other, make it hard to rig. That'll be something to do another time, but for now we'll just try and separate these fingers a little bit more. And try and make them look a bit more interesting. So we had maybe that was a little bit too wide before we scale it in and make it thinner. Slightly more spindly thumb. Maybe that could come out a bit, make it more rounded shape. Is that better? Let's press 3 and have another look. Yeah. Well, that's not too bad. Alien hand, a bit flat. Maybe we'll just go back and we'll give it this natural position can be a little bit more arched. We'll probably use the vertices and pick them out from the top, and then put the soft select on. Good old soft select. There we go. It's gonna maybe turn it down a tad. Just to bend those fingers forward slightly. Maybe just then a shift. Yeah, that's better. So we got them all, more or less all of them. So we edge, and the other one is left behind somehow. Is that better? Alright, keep going until you're sort of more or less happy with the overall shape of that. I think that's okay for now. Again, we can go back and edit the whole body once it's all in place relative to the other parts. It's not a big deal. Oops, I'll turn that soft select off, and that bit could go there. Okay, so there's a hand. We go to display, show all. That brings our body back. Okay, so our hand's a bit on the big side, in the wrong place as well. So let's get that out to the end of the arm. Hold it there somewhere. It's flipping huge. Right, it doesn't matter too much. I quite like that. Maybe a bit smaller. Yeah. Okay, quick check. I sort of think we've done most of those things. Oh, okay, so yeah, the next thing is to sort of get that wrist section. And again, you'll see there, And in our model, because we had 3 sections, we've got again an octagon shape, which is can be more obviously seen if we pull these 2 middle points out. We have 8 points. Perfectly matches the 8 points here, so we don't need these faces on the end of the hand, so we'll select those and backspace, get rid of them, and we're back to a familiar process where we're going to bridge this section. Maybe we'll make this arm a bit more wrist shaped there, maybe a bit smaller. 2. Okay, so object mode, right click to object mode, click the body, click the hand, go to mesh and combine them. There we have one piece of geometry, and click the edge on the end of the arm, click the edge on the end of the hand, and edit mesh, bridge. So we got a bridge. Points weren't that brilliantly lined up, so the bridge section is sort of a little bit twisted there. Again, if anything looks slightly messy like that, you should make an attempt to clean it up a little bit. Not always. And that side's not so bad. What I might do is actually choose that edge there and just twist the whole thing to line it a bit better. That's maybe not. Maybe just get a few individual points and just make them blend, appear to line up better than they do. Getting sort of clean lines is an important part in all the modelling. You want the lines to sort of flow through, and especially if you're making organic things like this, you don't want weird kinks and bumps like that. That's a bit odd. So, you know, you're going to get rid of anything like that and try and iron it all out into nicely tapering lines of geometry, I guess. This is geometry, so I think what's happened here, we got a flat section of 2 lines underneath the hand, but under the arm we just had a single line of. So from the elbow onwards, we kind of have to twist the line in towards the flat edge of the hand, so that it just flows nicely. Now that's a lot better. Except I think we're not really sure where our wrist is and where our palm is. I think this section should be our wrist, and it should actually be thinner than the hand itself. So we'll scale the whole thing right in there, and we'll bring the palm of the hand out both sides, back of the hand. Can also be fatter. These are kind of like the knuckles. Yeah. The palm is a bit fatter. That's probably the widest part of the hand. And we taper those outwards. Yeah, that's not bad. Smooth it, and still got slightly wide wrists, but maybe we could squeeze that in there like that a little bit. Yeah, he's not bad. That's not bad as a hand. Looks good on both sides. I think maybe that way. Back to basic mode. Okay, we strung a hand on the end. I think I put it the right way up. I think the thumb should point upwards. So, yeah. So there's our hand done. That takes us up to step 29. We're going to put on a foot. So this starts off as another nice sphere turned into a rugby ball, a rugby club foot stuck on the bottom, and you guessed it, we're doing it as an 8-sided sphere, which is pretty much what we had before when we made the head. Let's just check anyway. Sphere, toggle box, and there's 8 axis divisions. This time the sphere axis needs to point towards us, so towards us in this case is Z depth, so we just change axis from Y, making a vertical sphere, to Z, which makes one which will extrude towards us. The size doesn't really matter. We're going to just make it comes up the origin, we drag it down and across. We sort of line up this line with this line, and we're going to scale it into a long flat foot shape. Maybe not so huge. Bring it down and move it forwards, so you kind of see what's happening here. We're going to make a foot that attaches to the leg. We have to decide which 4 facets of the foot are going to attach to the leg, whether we put these ones on and give them a big bald foot on the heel, or maybe these 4 here with a sort of less off the back. I think we'll go for the first option. Take these 4, backspace to delete them, and then we'll just mould the remaining pieces to sort of make more of an octagonal shape, because at the moment there's kind of a square hole. We can pick those 4 and scale them towards each other that way, and then maybe widen the remaining 2 a little bit and get a shape approximating. Maybe we can take those up a bit. It's a little bit of a guess to begin with, what shape it's gonna make, and exactly when you bridge them, but if we're getting more or less a sort of shoe shape here, make a sort of shoe, and then we'll make an ankle to fit the bridge between them. Maybe something like that looks good. You see there's corresponding to the shape above. And we could tweak some of these other elements of this weird foot shape. It's a bit rounded underneath. I think he'd probably fall over. So we can select all of these points and scale them flatter. You see what it's doing is it's taking the the roundness off the bottom of the sphere and flattening it out into a much more believable flat-bottomed foot shape. It's very flat-footed and a little bit oval still, so we could get those front ones. Put the soft select back on and scale them more. We're going to have a nice frog-like webbed foot style boot, I think, on our alien. He's going to definitely have a foot that flares out at the front there. That looks quite good. Maybe we could even make it asymmetrical. Really, we know maybe his big toes over here. There, so that's flatter towards the front. Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, okay, it's like a starting foot shoe shape there. Next stage is familiar. Select the two objects, mesh, combine, right click again, picking out those two joining edges. Don't worry, the soft select's still on, it won't matter for this. We can go to edit mesh, bridge, and it is joined and connected the two parts up. Maybe it's left a little bit too much heel outside, so that could be scaled a bit, drawn in a little. And a few adjustments. Don't worry about anything being accidentally selected on that side. We're going to again delete that half and mirror any new geometry on this side. We literally just did it earlier to check our progress, really. We could smooth it and get an idea of what our foot looks like, and our leg and the rest of our body. All very nice. So that skips through the status things. Oh yeah, there's a little cleanup job we can do on this boot, this shoe, is to get rid of the triangles again. We don't need them; they're messy. And if they're not needed, we can just delete them. So I'll just turn off soft select. So yeah, you see some triangles, front and the back. We just kill them out, turn them into quads. Sorry, there's the basic view. Yeah. Four-sided shapes. The triangles can be kept if they're necessary, but if they're not, best to get rid of them and simplify the geometry that's there. Left that out. Take that in a bit. Round this off a little bit too. Yeah, maybe our the sole of our foot could be scaled slightly. From the side view, you can press F on those points, and you could maybe flatten these completely so that he just has a real. Just draw. Sorry, you can see that better. If you just you scale those points to a flat line, we'll get a nice, very flat bottom to the shoe boot, so that it locks to the ground nicely. Gives him a feeling of weight. You can see there. It's a nice flat bottom to that now. It's just selecting the 8 or so vertices in the middle and scaling them in Y, totally flat. So they all line up together and gives a flat bottom to that model. So that looks good in that respect. Yeah, I think what we could do now is we'll just mold his we'll delete the other half. We don't need that now, so we'll get rid of the facets on the unfinished side. Select those facets and backspace delete them. Oh, we missed a few at the top of the head there. I'll just show you that. See that we missed a few up there. We shouldn't be working in shaded mode. We should be in the press 1. And here's 2 stray facets that we didn't quite select. So if you see any of those, just go get them all. Right now, our model is all on one side again. He's ready to be mirrored again. The same settings as before, -X. Press mirror, and we have a complete mesh. Here's our guy, and he is doesn't have any holes in him anywhere now. He's one complete mesh all the way around. Nice geometry to rig and set up and to continue working on for more detail, which I think we should go straight into really. His arms and legs are still kind of just cylinders with some divisions, so the best thing to do would be to go in and sort of make those arm shapes a little more what we expect. Again, we're just going to work on one side, and when we're happy with that side, we'll delete the other half and duplicate it again. So we'll keep working on the same side we've been working on. I think this edge here is kind of where his elbow is. So we will we'll taper in a little bit, one direction, and in this direction we'll poke it out the back a little bit. Looks a little strange. This is the top of the forearm, so that one we make a bit wider, and that one too maybe a tiny bit. And I think these are usually a bit flatter that way. Again, we're going around it. We're looking for sort of clean curves so between sections. Maybe here. Put the soft select back on, and we'll pull that out towards the elbow. The elbow itself, maybe we can pull that right out and make it a bit more prominent. This line, this edge here, is our center of our upper arm, so that's the bicep. That's kind of like the biggest muscle in the arm, isn't it, I suppose? So that should, we don't want him to be a muscly looking alien, but putting a bit of shape into his arms make him look a little bit more humanoid or alienoid. Yep, okay, and then I don't know if our shoulder bits are correct. Are they looking more or less okay? I suppose that could be maybe bulged up a bit. This section go up. Go up. So we've sort of shaped that arm a little bit. It's not a dead straight tube anymore. It's got a little bit more character to it. And from the top, it's a bit odd still, maybe. Okay. Happy with that, I think. I'm going to put a blin on him now. So this is by right-clicking on the model, we go to assign new material, and this window comes up. We can add a blin material. It's a bit shinier. We get to see the form we're making. When on a shinier material, it will look a lot more easier to see if there's any mistakes or dodgy surface areas. There's lots of tweaks have been done to this model. Another thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to freeze the transformations again, and I'm also going to delete the history. Deleting the history will clean up the model, take out all of the actions that you've done previously. You shouldn't need to edit them again now, so you don't need that history. You do that, it makes your window over here, your attribute editor, much simpler, taking out all of the historical elements. It just leaves the surface you have now, your single surface shape, and the blend that you put on. We'll just call it green skin, and give it a nice alien green colour. Yeah, lovely. Oh, okay, so now we can see him. He's nice and shiny now. We can sort of see in more detail in this view our geometry that we've made. We're going to tweak that leg as well. Do the similar thing to the arm. Maybe let's just check our picture. I can't quite remember how we did his legs. Yeah, he's got sort of skinny little legs, so we'll thin them out a bit and maybe make them a bit more bowed. Give him some knees. So go that front view maybe. Keep working along that same edge. Pick those two. Increase the soft selects a little bit. Oops. Right. Yeah, something like that. And it's affecting the leg on the other side. Ooh. It's pulled the central line out as well, which is not good, so we'll reduce that. We don't want to affect this middle bit because that will spoil our symmetry. We'll just pull that out a little there. Maybe select that one, do a little bit there. Scale it in. This picking the central scale thing will scale the points in all directions. Take a look at the 3D view. So, yeah, we thin those legs out and bowed them out as well. Give him a little bit more of a kneecap. Turn the soft select off for this and just pull those points in and pull them out. And behind the leg we'll do the sort of opposite thing. We'll push them in to make a slight crook in the back there. We'll select those four and make a sort of fatter calf by scaling those 4 points up and pushing them out the back a little, just to give a little muscle kind of definition to that. I think we'll grab those bits and make his leg there. Zoom around that. I think that's good enough. Yeah. Okay, so we'll get back to our front view. Right click, object mode. Click on it, and again, faces. We're going to. Oops, mustn't forget that top bit on the head again. We're going to get everything on that side killed off, and again we'll mesh geometry. And we've got Eileen's got some arms and legs. I kind of think that arm looks a bit too big for his leg. They're kind of very long in my design, but quite skinny. I think we can easily do that. We can just, again, do a bit of creative scaling and tweaking. Maybe, oops, where's that? I'm trying to find the soft sides. Here it is. Yeah, okay. So we'll the arm's a bit too musty, so we'll shrink the whole arm a bit, but then we'll sort of scale it up again, make it thinner. Stretch the hand too much, so we kept that separate and sort of counter what I did by scaling that back the other way. I still think he could stretch longer. Keep taking bits, sections nearer the hand and pulling them out. Nice long forearm. God, a bit more, why not? Yeah. And a bigger hand, maybe. Just check the front view. Sort of still needs to be kind of straight, so that we can rig it more easily later. Yeah, that's better compared to this big chunky fat arm. I think this suits the design a bit better. I think maybe he's got a bit of a fat wrist still, so we'll just scale that back a bit. Oops. On the 3D view, make sure we did the right bit. Oh, he's got the soft select on that. Take that off and just bring them in a bit. Looks like one thing from the front, and slightly different from above. But no, it looks good all over. That's nice. That's nice. Let's delete again. And mirror again. Yeah. So now he's looking pretty cool. We've probably pretty much come to the end of my blog tutorial, but we haven't achieved the look of the alien yeah, with his facial details and the clothing. So I think we're gonna do that. Look at that next. Again, it's going to be using the same processes really that we've done this so far. So let's move on to the head.